Into the New Old Heads podcast, premiered every Thursday at noon at bringingdowntheband.com and brought to you by No Bad Ideas, Coleman Dental, and Printfinity. Support the New Old Heads by visiting our Patreon at patreon.com/newoldheads.
Episode 78. Longevity is in its bag on the effects. I am Major 7th. New Old Heads podcast. I do want that smoke. Got an EP coming out this Friday. I'll tell y'all about that before we get out of here. The maestro, Longevity, as I just talked about, is in the building. Hello, sir.
Hello, Michael.
How are you?
I'm well.
Good to see you.
You too.
In the corner, as always, fresh to death, rocking and bringing down the band t-shirt. You know, you can get those at the website. Printfinity's own DJ Jay Diff.
Salutation.
How's business, man?
It's good, man.
It's booming.
And these mugs.
Yeah.
It's
That
popping.
mug is that mug. It's popping?
Yeah, popping.
Word.
Yeah.
It is what it is. Yes, sir. Back from Philly, the incomparable DJ Spoolz has freed Meek Mills.
Give him a
Spoolz.
round of applause.
Yes, sir. Let's clap it
Yeah.
up for Spoolz. He put that work in, and Meek is officially free.
What y'all know about that?
Hello, Michael. And just for the record, I just so happened to be going to Philly or that area, and Meek became free. I never
Yes.
said I freed anyone.
Look, we
Hey.
were going to just keep that going.
Yeah, we was just
Yeah.
going to ride with him. Man. What you
So
doing,
much for
man?
that. This has been going on for a long time,
Yeah.
Spoolz, but yeah, so much for that.
Oh,
You
I'm
should
not-
have took
I'm not-
credit for that, man.
See,
People take
and-
credit
and-
for way more.
And you guys could have played that off way better than you did too. But
Oh.
that's okay. You guys could have been like, "That's right. You can't talk about it,"
Yeah.
and left
I
it at
think we
that.
said
You guys,
that a
like you
couple
just
times,
did.
right?
you guys kind of helped. You guys kind of just helped kill it.
Yeah, just like you just did.
We all killed it together.
Yeah.
We didn't put you on blast, so we just said
Not
you
at
were
all.
working on something.
Murder.
Wow.
It's dead.
I think I'm gonna leave it at that.
Yeah, please do.
Tear.
Meek is free, though.
Yeah, shout out
is
to
free.
Meek Mill, man. We're gonna talk
Out
about
there hanging
that.
out with Mark Lamont Hill and the owner of
Yes,
the
sir.
76ers.
Kevin
and
Hart.
Yeah,
the whole, everybody's out there having a
Mr.
good
Crab.
time.
We're gonna talk about that a little bit. And you do hear the golden voice. Mr. Wavy Light Skinned Girls Be Loving Me Now is in the building with us this week. Mr. Jay Moore.
How's it going, man?
You doing all right, brother?
I'm doing okay. Like, you know,
He wants a new intro.
it's funny because like there are people
no.
now that like, you know, because I celebrated a birthday this past
yes,
week.
sir. Yes,
Happy
sir.
birthday, Jay Moore.
Yeah, happy
Thank
birthday,
you.
brother.
I'm going on the Jay Moore birthday tour starting tonight at Coach's Tavern. Even though
I
it's,
like that.
everything's in the same city, but it will be the Jay Moore birthday tour. Check
Oh,
out
so
A
social
tour
media.
nonetheless.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
And the crazy thing is there are people who hit me up and was like, "Happy birthday, Mr. Wavy Light Skin." I was like,
Yes.
"Wow, okay, this thing has
Yes.
really gained traction." So
yeah, shout
I'll
out
take that though. It's all good.
Shout out to Jay Moore, the golden voices in the building, rocking the Jay Brookins Memorial headphones. We see you. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna call
Shout out to
those.
Jay Brookins.
Yeah, we're gonna call those. That's what those are from here on out. The Jay Brookins Memorial headphones.
Word.
I can dig that. Yeah, episode 78. So I think
Best suited for a small child, probably.
Man.
I think we said it was a consensus. 78 is going to be the Bruce Smith episode from the
Yes.
Buffalo Bills. Correct.
Yes.
I think he went to the Redskins towards the end. Am
Yes,
I right?
he did.
When I say
He
that?
did.
That dude was
Dan
a beast,
Schneider was
man.
writing those checks
Yeah.
for like the '94 All-Star
Yeah.
team, but it was like 2002.
Yeah, he was, dude.
Shout out to Jim
I like
I used to
Kelly.
call it,
Deion
I used to call it
Sanders
the
and-
abyss.
Yeah, I was like,
Shout out to Jim Kelly, 𝗏𝗏 Thomas. Who am I missing? Who's the wide receiver? Reed.
Andre Reed.
Andre
Yes, sir.
Reed.
Don Beebe.
yeah,
I'm,
oh yeah, Don
I'm showing
Beebe.
my age. I'm sorry, but yeah, Bruce Smith was a beast.
Cornelius
good.
Bennett.
Yes, sir. Longevity.
The squad,
We see
they the
you.
squad.
We see you. And shout out to the homie as always, Mr. Red August. My man Michael Anthony is in the building on site
Indeed.
production as
Indeed.
well. Pay
this
that
man.
man.
Angles.
Pay that man. Weddings.
Give him some ducats.
Photos, just regular
Some
photo
Skrilla.
shoots. If you just crossing the street and you want him to take pictures of you, he does that.
He does. I bet he'll do it better than anyone else.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like the Beatles. You know, like the Beatles.
Yeah, if you want to
The
do that,
Beatles.
he can recreate
The
that.
link's in the description too.
Yes,
so you
sir.
can find him.
That boy is a beast. He'll take a picture of pretty much. Well, I ain't gonna say he take a picture of pretty much anything. I'm trying
Yeah,
to
don't
get
get him caught up in that.
Man,
We
Mike.
ain't do that.
Back
Thanks, Mike.
page
It's always got to go.
type
Yeah.
situations.
It's so great to have Brad back, isn't it? Word. All
Good
right,
to see
man.
you too, man.
We do miss Spoolz, man. I ain't gonna front. I mean, you know, Spoolz is the homie. He's what I call a fan favorite. All my friends like him. I don't even like him.
He said
All
that
my
like you,
friends
you know, because Spoolz is a homie. You know,
He's
Yeah.
the homie, yeah. You know
You
what I'm
know,
saying?
Yeah, we
Glad
just
to
do
have
this
you back,
podcast
Spoolz.
thing together.
he's,
Right.
he's on here every once in a while.
I mean, my
Yeah,
friends,
sometimes.
my friends love you, man. I feel a certain way about that. They grew up with me, but they like this fool.
Well, now
It's
that
cool,
Meek's
though.
free, hopefully I can go every third week sometime in the near future.
Yes,
So,
sir.
Word.
We appreciate your efforts, but
Bonnie.
I want to jump into Nashville because I didn't do my homework on this when I heard about it, but I know we were talking about it before we went on.
Jumping in Nashville.
Thanks, Lone.
Yeah.
Shout out to, I don't know why, but I want to get this covered. Shout out to
all
all of
sides.
Memphis. Yeah.
Shouts to all sides of Nashville.
Yeah, Nashville and Memphis. We don't want no smoke. A man was accused of killing 4 people in a shooting at a Waffle House, and I believe it's pronounced Antioch, Tennessee. He has been arraigned on a murder charge as of Monday. Metro Nashville Police says Travis Ranking was arrested around 1 p.m. on Monday after a citizen spotted him in the woods behind an apartment complex near the 5,000 block of Mountain Spring Drive. Ranking is accused of killing 4 people and injuring several others at the Waffle House restaurant along Murfreesboro Pike. on
Shouts to
Sunday.
Murfreesboro. We passed that
Man.
on the way to Atlanta.
Yes, sir. A
I
massive manhunt had been underway ever since, prompting lockouts and shelters.
So
in
was
schools.
he naked while he was on the
I heard that.
He was
but
stark naked or
Stark?
something.
while
That's
he was
stark
running
on the
running from the
jacket.
police just
Yeah.
naked?
Man,
No, he wasn't actually running from the police. So he did open fire in there. There was a someone that was in there eating named James Shaw Jr., I believe.
Okay.
Mhm.
He had hid in the bathroom for a little while
Oh,
he was
wow.
doing it. And so he's peeking out of the bathroom while it's going on.
Yeah.
And he noticed that he had ran out of bullets, or the gun must have got jammed or something.
Oh,
So he
man.
took his chance to pretty much go tackle dude or try to disarm him. He got the gun from him, threw it over the counter.
Yeah.
But he drug him outside, and then he dipped. So they didn't even catch the assailant in the moment that it happened.
Oh, wow.
They didn't catch him until sometime yesterday. The shooting happened early. What was it? Saturday morning or Sunday
Yeah.
morning?
Mhm.
CNN did say there was a manhunt. Like they actually he
Didn't
was
they
on the
catch him
ground.
in Florida?
That I'm not sure of.
I'm
Don't
not
quote me
sure.
on that. Yeah,
I think they
I'm
just
not
said
sure.
they caught him on Murfreesboro Pike.
Oh, is that
right?
what they said? I must have missed that.
Yes, sir.
It was just such a long dialogue that you're reading.
yeah, it's a lot, man.
You got Sean for
I was
about 8
asleep.
seconds, man. That's
Yeah. I was
My
asleep.
attention span, man.
But yeah, that's crazy, man. When you think
A
about
Florida
it,
man. A Florida man.
The Florida man,
The
yeah.
Florida man's out here loose.
and these
Shouts
The
to
whole
Atlanta.
world should be scared.
these are just I'm not going to even dwell on it too long. These are just reoccurring things that we continue to see. We'll just see what happens at this point because we always continue to talk about stuff like this because it continues to present itself. So,
Was this a hate crime?
man,
Yes.
that's a good question.
Let's just go ahead and put it out there.
Well,
I had read
Because that's the other element of the story that
because
we haven't talked about.
the thing
Yeah.
is,
Okay,
I
fair
think
enough.
I think the news media, because we always, this is frustrating for me. I
Sure.
mean, of course, it's frustrating because there is an issue with mental health and the access to guns because he had his guns taken away from him because he tried to show up at the White House with guns, and he was being watched, but of course that doesn't mean a whole lot.
Right.
But the thing is, when crimes are racially motivated
Yes,
and they're
sir.
racially motivated towards black victims, there tends to be a narrative that's put out there that he was a lone wolf, and they try to make it about being mentally
Mental
disturbed.
health.
Now, mind you, to shoot 4 people for no reason that you don't know, yes, of course you're mentally disturbed, but there's this whole, because, and of course the people is like, oh, you can hurt people other ways. Yes, because, in Canada, there was somebody who wound up driving their car into a whole bunch of people. And once again, when you start looking into his background,
Yep.
also racially motivated. But I just feel like the news media, for whatever reason, does not want to talk about that. They'll talk about someone being crazy if they're white. They'll
No
talk
question.
about mental health, and they'll even make attempts to humanize this individual. Because initially,
No question.
after shooting 4 people dead in a Waffle House with an AR-15, he was granted $2 million bond. Now,
Yeah, I saw that.
I'm like, now, mind you, sometimes people talk about the evils of social media, but once again, shout out to Sean King.
Yeah, that's how I found out.
No doubt.
You know, this got out there early this morning. I think by 2 or 3 o'clock, his bond had been revoked.
Hold that thought. Hold that thought. Spoolz jump in to the point about him saying about the bond piece and just overall in general the lack of.
No, I think I read an article about the guy that did this, having like shouting racial slurs at a lady at a Publix.
Yeah. Yep.
And so yeah, I think this one was the one in Toronto. My understanding from what I've read, wasn't racially motivated, but it was motivated by like this guy's like dislike for women in general. Like he was a part of some Reddit group of guys that like apparently didn't have any or any relations with women. And
I like how you sipped that mug right there.
But we're
he
straight
was sexually
males
frustrated.
and yes, that was my understanding of that one. But no, it
no
is
game
sad,
about it.
man. I mean, and it's a combination of things, and I think most people know what those things are, but I don't know.
He had a lack of sexy time.
Yeah.
Reddit group.
Yeah.
I like what you did there.
Which is
paint
odd.
a picture. Yeah.
But to Jay Moore's point, I mean, and to your point, this is just something we see on a regular basis.
It is.
You know, if it's a
Mass shootings, just
the mass shootings, and if it's a white person that's shooting
which
a lot.
that's usually who it is, a white guy with an AR-15.
Actually, that's always who it is.
Yeah.
So
It's always an AR-15.
And now it's not like
Right.
isolated incidents. At this point, like we can give you an Excel document that shows it's white. You know, and I hate when people have to do this.
I like Excel documents.
I hate when people
Who
have to
doesn't
do
like
this.
Excel?
But you know, whenever people say, now had it been a Muslim that shot up Bob Evans and killed 4 people, I don't know why I had to equate Bob Evans with
It's
white
all right,
people.
though. We see
I
the-
like Bob Evans.
We see
you know
the
what I'm
picture
saying?
you paint.
I don't like
see
their
it.
eggs.
Exactly.
But
But
otherwise-
I'm just saying, trust and believe. 45 would make an appeal
Absolutely.
to all the gun owners in
No
this country.
question.
The
No
NRA
question.
would have some pamphlets ready,
Yes, sir.
and it would just be a statement, a rant, if you will, on Twitter about strengthening our borders. But because it's it's a white guy, American, probably has a MAGA hat somewhere, hanging out. Perhaps I'll put that on him. I don't see why not. Then president is silent.
Jump in, Spoolz. You were gonna say
Oh
something.
no, I
there.
saw a post once where because like what you're saying, like with mass shootings, it's more likely to be a white male is definitely true. But I saw like some post online and somebody was going, was trying to counter that and said, "Look at this," and it was like, trying to make a mockery of that and saying like it's not, and showed a bunch of like black people who had been the part of mass shootings, but it went all the way back to like Colin Ferguson.
Oh man!
So it's like you could have the same number of people in the last like 2 years that were white males that did the same thing. You know what I mean? It was just interesting to me. Like
go back to
people's
the
need to like hold on to something. Like no, it's not.
Yeah.
Oh, it's like
to your point, we could
weird.
literally go back to the beginning of the year, but
It's okay to be wrong.
indeed,
exactly.
But, like
It's
I
okay
said,
to acknowledge there's a problem. That's another thing.
as I always say, when we repeatedly are faced with these topics, we'll just have to monitor it and see what goes down, see how the coverage.
What do we do?
will-
I mean, we've been monitoring for 77
Can't
episodes.
keep doing that.
So-
I
That's
mean-
the same thing the government and people that are supposed to actually be able to do something to change it. They pretty much monitor it and give you thoughts and prayers.
Yeah, I'm not saying
There's nothing else.
Yeah, I'm not saying we gonna
We're just
come up with any
addressing it.
answers or anything, but I always watch to see what will happen. Maybe I should say it that way. We'll
Yeah.
see what happens.
I guess it depends on what your stances are. I mean, I guess there's things you can, protest
Sure.
the NRA. You can find out who funds the NRA, and
I was just trolling Mike, but yeah.
It's
I
all
mean,
good.
But that is a good. But,
Yeah.
but I mean, it is a good point though.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's all about what makes
mental health. I mean, I think getting involved politically or locally.
I think we
helps.
touched on this a little bit
Yes, sir.
last week, especially with, like I said, this one does seem to be racially motivated. Look, if once again, I'm going to use the word white allies until I find a better word to use.
Go
I
ahead,
missed
bro.
that discussion. I wish I was here for that.
Go ahead, brother.
Look, if there's somebody in your family or in your neighborhood and they're out there, white people seem to be wanting to call the police on anybody else. Like, whether it be 4 black women who are golfing apparently too slowly, whether it be the 2 young men who were at Starbucks that we discussed last week. It's like, where are all these concerned citizens when there's a guy with an AR-15 who's on his way to shoot up a Waffle House?
Jay, he's he's just mentally unstable. That's all.
Of course.
I have a friend that actually meets readers, like meter reader.
Okay.
For IPL.
Okay.
And someone called the cops on him because he walks around with a tool that, you lift the manhole up.
Yeah.
They called the cops on him because they said he was walking around with a gun.
Wow.
Black gentleman, by the way.
That could have been real bad.
Real bad. And they held him up from doing his job for at least an hour and a half.
What?
Yes.
I mean, there have been
happened
police
recently.
officers.
That's crazy, bro.
There have been police officers who actually said, someone called the police on me saying there's a black man here in police clothes. You mean a uniform?
That's what I was going to say.
In police clothes?
But it's a uniform.
It sounds like Dave Chappelle says, like, I've seen this before when I was a rookie.
Well,
just because I'm wearing
put up pictures of himself all over the house.
Hey.
Like, seen it before.
So just sprinkle some crack on
it. So to all of our white allies, be as vigilant about calling the police on crazy white people with guns as you are about black people who are doing their job or just golfing or enjoying coffee.
Dude, I saw a story about a kid who missed the bus.
Yeah.
I see that's brilliant. Brilliant. And I never, ever
Shout out to Chris Cross.
Yes, sir. That's brilliant. Absolutely
so
brilliant.
I can't remember where this was, but he had missed the bus somewhere in Michigan and knocked on someone's door in the neighborhood. He didn't quite know where he was at to see, like, see where he was. And it was a 14-year-old black male, and it was an older white couple. Yeah. And they literally like yelled at him to go away, and the man or the husband came down with a gun and like shot at this kid as he was running away.
Wow. Amazing.
And also,
that's where we are.
Mind you, all these stories that we're talking about, all these things have happened in the last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
This is just 2
Address
weeks.
your fear with people that don't look like you.
Yeah, I think that's it. That helps tremendously.
Talk that talk, Lone.
Or address that fear with your friends.
Talk
and
that
your
talk.
family. If you don't fear them.
Can't imagine being afraid.
I can dig it.
Like, I just...
We're going to keep interrupting Mike as he tries to transition.
I'm trying my best. I'm trying my best. I'm
and Mike, what's next already? Come on, man.
Yeah, I'm straight on that.
Get it together, sir.
All that foolishness. Well, Meek
farting around.
Can we save that one? Put a check mark by that one. Put a pin in that one. I'm coming to Jay Diff on this one. We talked about Meek, right, in the beginning. Meek is free. Shout out to Meek. So here's my question. I want to transition into music. Hold on, make sure I get. Appreciate you, Spoolz. That's what's up. So with Meek, now that Meek is free, here's my question. I'm coming to you, Terry. Music-wise, shout out to all of Memphis. Is this going to get him motivated to come out with even more? Like, do you hear like a dope project coming out with him talking about what he's been through? Do you see him coming out mad motivated with his project that comes out next? Because he's gonna drop some heat. I think he's gonna drop some heat. Do you think some heat's coming very, very soon? I think it is.
Honestly, I mean, I don't know on that. I'm just happy that he's free.
I'm happy he's free too, no doubt.
And the powers that be, you know what I'm saying, made that happen.
Yes, sir.
He has a lot of people behind him right now.
Yes.
I think he probably is motivated to drop something. I'm not sure what he's gonna do.
Yep.
But I mean, I'm interested to see what happens from here on out. To your point,
he's got a lot of, and we talked about this as well. It's from the Philadelphia 76ers ownership to, Bob Kraft from the Patriots going out to see him or whatever. Like, that's weird to me. Like, that just seems, I mean, it's dope that he's out, but it's like, of all the people, like, Robert Kraft goes out to see Meek Mill. I'm like, word? Did any you guys thrown off by that other than me and obviously Lone?
It's definitely interesting. But I mean, it's a case of right and wrong.
Yes, sir.
And lots of people, celebrities, like you said, excuse me, Mr. Kraft, the owner of the Sixers, actually went to pick him up and took him to the game.
Yeah.
But
they had a big thing before the game even started for Meek Mill.
That's
You know
love.
what I'm saying?
I
That
can't
is
wait-
love.
yeah, I
Philly's
can't wait to
really
see that.
happy right now. It's a really good place to be honest with
Yeah.
you.
Great sports town.
Between the Eagles winning the Super Bowl,
Mhm. Yep.
Villanova, the Sixers in the playoffs, and Meek
Yep.
being free now.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
big.
I mean, it's just very interesting how it's unfolding.
Yep.
Because you wouldn't think, because I don't know if y'all remember our dialogue when he first went to prison.
Mm-hmm.
yes.
Like who would have thought that it was actually the dynamics of that case were this major
Oh
Yeah.
to
yeah.
the point where you have all kind of eyes on it. Like, nah, that's not right.
No question.
And they're definitely abusing the power and showing you how the system works once you're in there.
The judge was mad biased. You could see by her how she was acting.
the judge had a vendetta against me.
No question.
We've already discussed that.
Plus
but
the fake singing and all that. Like it's dude been through a lot, man. Like
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
dope to see him out. Like it's really dope to see him
shout
out.
out to Spoolz again, even though he ain't gonna take credit. But
Yeah, we
it
gonna
is what
pub
it
him up
is.
though.
So
Might get some
I-
t-shirts made.
I was on that initial dialogue. I was wrong initially. My initial
Okay.
thoughts on it. I thought it was like a kind of just a big to do, or it was going to be like a big media thing to get
Yeah.
attention or something like that.
Yeah.
It just all sounded real weird, especially the boys to men thing. But so I was like, yeah, I was definitely
Shout out to
definitely
Spoolz.
off there, man.
sometimes it's too good to be true.
It's
you know?
just wild.
Facts.
Like, and it's really unfortunate that Meek had to go through all that, man.
Yeah.
Well, one of the things I've been impressed with is, I mean, and the thing is, once again, we'll see
Yes, sir.
in the upcoming days, is that he hasn't made this as much. He's made it about him. Maybe actually his supporters have made it about him. He's made it about the system being broken.
Yep.
Mhm.
And there are people that don't have his resources
Yeah,
who are
for sure.
sitting in prison right now.
Right.
That's a fact.
You know, when you think about somebody being on probation for 10 years,
Yeah.
when you think about the fact that during the last hearing where everybody thought, oh, Meek was going to get out a couple weeks ago, the prosecutor and the defense attorney said, we should go ahead and let this guy out. We should go ahead and grant him bail and let him out immediately. And the fact that the judge basically ignored what they had to say
Yes.
and said, no, we'll have another hearing in either May or June,
Mm-hmm.
which was just her flexing her judicial powers to keep him in jail. Because what are we going to have a hearing about? Both the prosecution and the defense agree, which probably happens very rarely.
Yes.
You know,
Good point.
especially when it's come out that, you know, Meek's initial arrest might have been dirty because there's a police officer and it's caught up. It's tainted more than 80 cases in Philadelphia as far as as far as people being brought in on false charges. And so,
Right.
like I said, I like the fact, you know, he'll make his music. He'll
No
make his
question.
money, you know, especially if they'll officially, because of all this, take him off papers. He can actually
Yeah.
travel and do shows. There's a bag waiting on him in every city in America.
Everywhere.
Because you got to understand, like, since the Philadelphia Eagles won the Super Bowl, like, one of the biggest moments in any club is when they play Dreams and Nightmares.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And that song is what, 4 or 5 years old now?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that's not even off of his current project. So,
But every single time.
every single time that song plays, the club goes crazy.
Yeah.
So there's money waiting for him. But, like, I'm just happy to see him say, okay, I'm out, but, like, I'm a special case because I have the backing of Rock Nation, my record company.
And Robert Kraft.
You know,
That's-
Robert Kraft. There are
Apparently,
a
yeah.
I
whole
still
bunch
can't
of
get past that,
celebrities
man.
who are here for me. But what
Yeah.
about, you know, the little brother in South Philadelphia who, you know, his mom couldn't raise bond, and so he had
Yeah.
to take a plea.
And there are lots of
I mean,
of
look at like
different
Khalif, the
situations
Khalif
like
Browder
that.
story. I mean, that's
Yeah.
an
Khalif and-
example.
and just in general.
Yep.
You know, there's still lots of people in jail for marijuana charges.
Mhm.
Facts.
Man.
While John Boehner's getting ready to invest into the
So- Shit is
industry,
crazy.
Man.
but that's something else.
But anyways,
It's not about us, guys.
I wanna
Telling
I wanna jump
oh,
in.
but it should be.
That's how it should be.
I wanna jump into our buddy Yeezus. Went on
Why
a
it gotta be Yeezus though? Just
He's just Kanye.
Yeah, just call him
we're not-
Kanye.
yeah, I don't even want to acknowledge that project like that.
that project was trash.
Mhm.
He actually ain't put out a good record since Dark Twisted Fantasy. Fight
You know,
me if you want to.
I'll give him Life of Pablo.
Nah,
Life of
I
Pablo was
will not.
good.
I won't.
I like
give you
I
that.
like Life
He
of
got
Pablo.
I mean,
three
it
or
was
four.
cool.
It's
I
probably
didn't
four-
buy it.
Thank you, sir. It's probably
but
about 4
that's
records on
not
that album.
fuck
But it was
shit worth
decent. It was decent. You know, had
I'm
a couple
very-
of
Terry.
joints.
That's subpar material.
That's not.
Terry's
fuck
like,
shit
come
worth.
on.
Y'all hype off the intro for Father Stretch My Hands. That
If I
album's
bleach
not
my
that cold.
asshole,
I didn't say it was cold.
It's subpar material. In comparison to his catalog, subpar material.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? Twisted Fantasy is damn near perfect if you ask me.
I'll give you that.
But I'll fight you on Pablo. And Yeezus was trash.
I like Yeezus more than Pablo.
Nah.
I'm straight. Kanye's still moving the needle, though. Whether I like it, you like it, or whoever likes it, he's still moving the needle.
So what's he doing now?
All right, so check this out. There's multiple tweets.
Yeah, I've been following him.
Yeah. Good.
He's doing his job.
He's doing his job. It must be album time because Jesus is out here, inspiring people. So it must be time for the project to drop.
I tried to told you.
You did try to told me. So here's all right. I'm gonna do this one first, right? This is the first Kanye tweet I want to go at. So he said, I hate him. Yo, so Candace Owens, we talked about.
That's her last name. Okay.
Yeah, Candace Owens. She's controversial, conservative. She's a black, commentator or whatever. She'd be on Fox. Here's what she said, right? It says, the victim mentality is not cool. And this is in reference to a group of people that were representing the Black Lives Matter movement.
Hold up. Before we go into this.
Yes, sir.
Did Kanye reference this tweet?
He said he liked her thought process.
He didn't specify what he was referencing, though.
But didn't he say, I like how she thinks?
I mean,
right?
she said a lot of bullshit.
Well, there's
not nothing that's pointing at exactly what he means by that.
I mean, that's fair, but if I'm going to draw a conclusion, I'm going to say, for me personally, this might have been in some of the part that Kanye was tweeting about.
You can't do that, though. You can't just pick a tweet and be like, he was talking about this tweet.
But you can't pick a tweet and be like, he wasn't talking about that. So it's perspective.
No, you have to just group it together.
No, I'm not grouping it. I'm not grouping it.
Okay.
I'm thinking, I think this has something to do with it. That's just my opinion.
That specific tweet?
Yep.
How many tweets does she have?
No, it's not tweets. This is an excerpt from her speaking.
So it's not even a tweet. So
no, this is her talking somewhere.
Oh, because she only talks online and shows.
Yeah, like there's
that much.
There's an actual video of her saying this.
No, Fox News will trot her out. They like to do that.
Yeah.
She's
stoking.
I understand.
Trot her out.
I understand.
Yes, sir.
Here, go. Come
but just check this out.
Blacks.
Okay.
You form your own opinion. Check this out. It says the victim mentality is not cool. It says we're oppressed. 400 years of slavery, Jim Crow. By the way, none of you guys lived through that. It says your grandparents did, and it's embarrassing that you utilize their history. You're not living through anything right now. And she concluded with, I don't know why people like being oppressed. It's the weirdest thing I've ever heard.
I mean,
nobody here agrees with that.
Yeah, nobody agrees with
and
that.
Nobody likes being oppressed. I don't know where she's getting that from.
Yeah, that's
she's on some Stacey Dash shit.
Facts.
Fox picks who they like to.
Good call.
Definitely, they pick who they want to kind of follow in the realm of a person of color.
Yes, sir.
And it's always somebody that kind of has the same thought process as them.
Oh, she fits right in with them.
Yeah, definitely
no
fits
question.
right in with them. But we're talking about Kanye.
Yes,
Fuck
sir.
her. I'm gonna use my one F-bomb for the episode because that's completely bullshit.
Okay.
Ain't nobody really feeling that.
I don't know what else she said for the record, so maybe there was something else that he was alluding to. I'm just going off.
Well, he's not. To me, he's not alluding to anything that she said.
So it's a generalization, like generalization. In general, I like how she
like
thinks.
the way
right?
her thought process
Fair
works.
Enough. Fair
Okay,
enough.
but isn't Kanye West one of the biggest victims in hip hop that any of us have ever seen? Like, they won't let me do this. I remember him going on Jimmy Kimmel talking about how the white man would let him make leather sweatpants. I'm like,
hey, let him grow, man.
Let
him grow.
but,
because obviously this is him coming back. To me, him coming back from Wyoming and making. We're going to talk about all the records he's producing.
He talked me off a big ledge too. Him
But-
and my dude Jesse. Shout out to Jesse.
This is. He obviously went through some shit.
Yeah. No doubt.
And this is him.
It's called
going
being in the Kardashian family.
Okay, but now he seems. It's what he's tweeting about and what he's talking about. When he's talking about love and he's talking about fear and he's talking about the ideas behind all that stuff and all his tweets. It seems
Shout
like
out to my guy AJ Miles who wrote a book called Love and Fear. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
We see you.
And and I've read stuff on that in the last year as well.
Yep.
And it seems like he's coming from a place of trying to find himself.
Fair enough.
And so maybe he's grown. Maybe he's not.
He called Ebro. He called in Ebro for Hot 97.
Told him he love me.
Just said, "I love you, bro. Like we'll talk later." But yeah, he just kept saying it over and over again. To your point, maybe he's in some sort of transition like that.
So maybe we
well, and the thing
extend
is
that to him.
when you talk about social media,
I can respect that.
He might have seen one thing because like in a vacuum, like I might have seen something from this woman and then like, I can agree with that.
Yeah.
But then if I start doing my history and be like, oh, well, she's wrong on a whole, basically 99% of everything.
Why would you want to align with that?
You know,
right.
I mean,
right.
now
I follow you.
I do find it quite interesting that when Kanye has this thought process that the pundits on Fox News, you know how they're usually like, oh, celebrities just stick to whatever you do.
Yeah.
But now they seem to find a certain level.
That's how it is.
It's always whatever.
Yeah, so now,
aligns with
they're like, hey, you know, this celebrity's got it right. And you know,
Right.
look, when Alex Jones and
when Alex Jones
and Bill O'Reilly are
insane.
coming out singing your praises
and said, hey, come on my show.
maybe we need to you know,
he might be playing chess with these cats. Though.
you know,
Who
I'm
knows?
thinking it might just be an incredible troll job because
Could
Kanye, that's not out of the realm of Kanye.
Could it just be an attention-getting job?
It can be a
there's
lot
an
of
album
that.
that's coming out.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I mean, there's
Album's coming
that.
out.
There's that.
Yeah.
But I mean,
It might be a mixture of everything, but you got to realize
mixture of- yeah.
he does have an ego too. He's one of the most egoic
Mhm.
persons.
No
Egotistical,
question.
you know.
yeah.
Yeah, no question.
So you know,
He's always been that guy. He's consistent.
maybe he's
Yeah.
trying, maybe he's not. Maybe it's a mixture of everything. It's probably a mixture of everything.
Yeah.
But I mean, even a teacher can say, "I like your thought process,"
Facts.
and you still got an F on that paper though.
Facts.
I say that to my students.
You know
all
what I'm
the
saying?
time.
So
I see
I
you.
really
can't-
do. I
Yeah.
really do though.
just because someone says they like your thought process, in my opinion, doesn't mean that they're aligning themselves with that individual.
That's fair.
I'm curious what he means by that.
Right.
I'm very curious. I'm very
Not
curious.
that I'm reading too much into it. I'm only reading into it because everybody else is reading into it.
Right.
Right.
But
Because people are going to pick all these tweets that he's sending out and they're going to make them mean something more than what, like, make Kanye like this prophet of such. Because, I mean, he doesn't talk a lot.
every single time
He doesn't
tweets,
talk
though.
a lot. That's when I
Yeah.
first seen him start tweeting, I'm like, he got
He
something
got an album coming out. Yeah.
I
Something's
did have
coming
to
out.
get at him when he
Yeah.
was talking about, hey, if it's jeans, it's jeans. If it's a hoodie, it's a hoodie. I was like, you have been trying to sell people homeless people's clothes for like $2,200 a pop.
That is
and now
some-
you're gonna tell me, hey, if it's a hoodie, it's a hoodie. Nah.
That is
bruh.
something I can't G for with
I
Kanye.
can't vouch for
Kanye's
that.
my
Like-
guy. And he's been saying for the whole time of him making clothes and shoes that he's going to make them readily available for everybody.
And affordable.
They're not. None of that.
At all.
Ever.
That
It's like,
$180
dude,
T-shirt.
You dropping shoes in limited quantities
Yep.
that only a number of people can get,
Yeah.
and the price ticket is high.
Yes, sir.
You said, how long have the shoes and stuff been out?
He's probably
Well,
on Yeezy
we're on season 7 or
6
something?
7. Yeah. Give or
So, come on, bro. Do
Yeah.
better.
He was on the breakfast. His initial interview, well, not initial, but the interview, the first time before he came back, he doubled back to the Breakfast Club. He's like, "Yeah, man, on my next ventures, I'm gonna have the price points. Like it's gonna be this, it's gonna be that." And I'm like, "Yo, Kanye really about to make some high end stuff that's available and affordable. To your point, it's gonna have a good price point." I'm like, "Yeah." Then I go online, I see the duck boots for like $700. I'm like, "Okay."
You know, from so many standpoints, it doesn't make sense because Kanye's brand would turn to Spalding if he sold it cheap.
He'd be on some Shaq, has affordable shoes and with Walmart.
Killing them in
Kmart.
Walmart.
But
Killing
that's what it would be. And I
Starberries.
don't
Probably
see
make a lot of money.
Yeah.
maybe. I feel
Yeah,
like
but
I
I don't-
feel like
It'd be a
I don't-
quantity,
but
not quality.
and I don't
game
think
at that
Kanye
point.
cares about that aspect as
I
much.
think it's more about him being able to express himself like artistically. Like I think that he says that's what the main.
So what would
the main
work
thing
for
is.
you for his clothing line? Because as a complete bystander who doesn't care about any of this stuff,
I wouldn't
really
buy his
don't.
shit anyways, but
Like I'm just not a super fashion guy. Like I wouldn't.
I'm
like
not either. So you know.
what would be
I'll let Terry chime in.
what's an equivalent price point that you guys would feel comfortable with buying Kanye West's higher end clothes at?
All right.
Like Gucci prices or like
Now, this is my
Eddie
thing.
Bauer
This
prices?
This is my thing.
or
So you can
Abercrombie?
have both.
Mr. Printfinity can
So
answer
Polo
this.
has different lines.
Yes, sir.
There's really like Polo. Their less expensive line is called Chaps.
Mm.
I don't really see a lot of Chaps anymore,
No.
but that
got a
was like
Chaps
their
shirt.
less expensive line. So then you got the regular Polo. You got Polo black with a black label, and you got the purple label. So I mean, there's levels. So if he's going to make an affordable line, he can still make the higher price line as
Yeah,
well.
but he could make that high end homeless gear.
Yeah,
Still.
definitely. But
I
at
would see
least
Jay more.
have it to where people can actually get it that want to get it,
Right.
rather than making it so exclusive that only a number of people get it, and then the resale on it is crazy.
I think that's what
That's
makes
a
it
good point
so.
about the resale.
I mean, I think that's
Very
why
good
like you see like West Side Gun and Conway selling T-shirts for $50, and
Mhm.
limited quantities, and then you go to buy one on eBay and it's $100 and it's like a T-shirt.
Yeah,
It's already
that's
50,
all the
that's
game in
crazy.
itself. I ain't mad at the game.
Yeah, I think
It's
that's the
just-
game. He's
Get
just
your
playing it
paper.
on a little bigger level.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. That's what's up.
But
That's
talk about
interesting.
the like music and stuff Kanye said is coming out.
So here's the thing. He had a tweet where he said, I'm hand producing all the albums that I tweeted about. He said, I've been chopping samples from a Sunken Place, which I laughed at when I saw that. That was dope.
Well, he's listening to everybody. So.
Yeah. He said, Pusha T, May 25th. My album will be June 1st. Is me, and then he said, me and 𝐀𝐃𝐃, June 8th, Tiana Taylor, 22nd. I'm cool on all of those, but when he said, except for Pusha, I like Pusha. I'm not a Kid Cudi
You don't like
fan.
Kid Cudi?
I'm straight.
�KID is.
I probably missed something. Maybe I have to double back. You know what I'm saying? I trust y'all opinion. So if I need to double back, y'all tell me, I'll double back. But the one is he says he's entirely producing Nas's next album. Now,
He didn't really say entirely produced.
he said I'm producing the whole thing.
Did he say that?
I'm producing the
Well,
whole
he
thing.
said I produced all these albums, and then he said, "Oh yeah, Nas 615." Or
Yeah,
whatever.
Creating and bringing.
But I think that alludes to that though.
I think
Okay.
he's producing all of it. That's how I took it. I think he's gonna produce the whole thing. And we talked about this a little bit. And then my guy Jesse, was probably the biggest Nas fan I know. I called him. I was like, "This is after I talked to you," or we were going back and forth. And I'm like, "All right, so let's just say Kanye's gonna do a full Nas album, right?" I'm probably 50-50 excited. When I hear a Nas album is coming out, I'm like, yes. Like, I've been waiting on this. We've talked about this before. Like, it would be so dope to get a Nas album.
Life is Good was a classic.
Man, that's a very, very good album.
It is really good.
But now it's like, okay, so
It was okay.
don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Because you don't even like Nas. Don't do that. Here's my question. I'm going to throw this out here. I'll fall back. Here are my concerns. My concern is simple. I don't know which Kanye is going to be with Nas. If it's the Kanye that's going to force the Migos and Ty Dolla $ign and all these types of records on Nas, I don't want to
I don't
hear
think
it.
Nas is going for that.
If it's the Still Dreaming Kanye and Nas, I'm all in. You won't hear me complain. To that, you say what? I don't want any corny records from Nas.
I don't think Nas is going for that. I mean, that's kind of like the Rapture episode that he was featured on.
Yeah.
He's not
He
tripping
talked
on
about it.
having radio hits.
He
Okay.
even says
He
it in
doesn't
there.
want to be the
I hope
guy
y'all
that
right.
has the radio hits.
He's
I
like,
hope
I don't want to
y'all
hear
right.
myself in the club.
Right.
I like
hope-
when he
I
said,
hope- I hope y'all right.
He goes, you can't dance to, you don't dance to my music.
You don't
or
dance
to
something
my
like
music.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like,
That's what
awesome.
scares me. I hope y'all right.
And we talked about this a little
Yep.
bit. You know, that I think what you're referencing is rapping Kanye. This is producing Kanye. So I think it's a little different.
Fair enough.
So unless he gives him a bunch of 𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓s and stuff like that.
I don't think that's
that
going to
happening.
happen. I don't see it
I mean,
either.
he
Nas doesn't
lays
need to do
comment.
that. Like, he's going to make a high-quality album, and hopefully Kanye's... I mean, here's the thing. As someone who's not a big Kanye the rapper fan,
Mhm.
I am a Kanye the producer fan,
Yeah.
and have been for a long time. He made one of my favorite beats ever, The Truth, for Beanie Siegel. I just always loved that beat.
That
And
Kanye,
the sample that he used and all that.
that Kanye is a different
So, like, I'm
guy,
excited. When I saw that, I'm excited. I'd like
Guess
to hear
who's
that.
back? Scarface.
That's
No.
a different guy, though.
In Cold Blood
That's
is a
a
very
different-
underrated
Yep.
beat that he did.
That's a dope
different
song.
guy, man. That's a different guy.
Common. Finding
So, yeah.
Forever.
That's a different
yeah.
guy, man.
B.
B.
That's
It
a
might, but
different
you
guy.
know what? It might
That's a
just
different
be,
guy.
he might have found that guy in Wyoming.
Yeah,
Hey,
it could
you
be.
never know. I mean, like to get away from all the noise, and that is his life.
He said he was chopping samples too.
Yeah.
That's what
So
he said.
I mean,
That's what he
that's
said.
you know,
I love it.
that's the Kanye.
Love hearing that.
Don't get it twisted.
That's the old
I hope I'm
Kanye.
wrong. I'll be the first to
It's like
admit
your
I
favorite
hope
ball
I'm
player
wrong.
who like tore his ACL and he's just tweeted out like,
Man.
I'm running, I'm scrimmaging again or something
Yeah.
like that. You're like, yes.
And then it's Derrick Rose.
Hey, Derrick Rose is out here playing though.
Hey,
I
shout
ain't
out to
gonna
D
front on
Rose.
Derrick
Shout
Rose.
to
Shout out to
D
D Rose.
Word
Yeah,
up.
yeah.
Yep.
Shout out to D Rose. He actually out there
But
getting,
y'all
out there
know what I
playing.
meant when
I
I
know
said
what you
Derrick
mean.
Rose.
getting his paper.
No, but
Get
I
his
think
paper.
that
You were
know,
continuing with the
Kanye-
metaphor.
Kanye did hear.
I hope it's not the case.
I know, right?
I
hope
think
it's
he
this
did
Derrick
hear
Rose.
Yeah.
what was, because he, I mean, when people always say, "Oh, that leaked," I was like, you know what? This is a very controlled environment,
Yeah.
in which
Mm.
music is made and distributed.
Yes, sir.
A leak is it what it's intentional
It's
almost
controlled.
every time.
It's controlled.
And well, not But I heard these 2 records he did with the Migos, and they were just awful.
Trash.
And the thing is, they didn't even work as Migos songs. So, like, I think he's not. I think
then was
the reaction is going to keep Kanye away from that sort of direction. Hopefully.
Hey, man, for the record, a locked in Kanye that's chopping samples is amazing.
Yeah.
I'm
totally.
I'm just hoping that's what it is.
5 beats a day for
3 summers.
One summer in Wyoming. And a winter.
It's a different world, like 3 summers.
Man, I deserve to do these numbers.
I see you.
Straight up.
Keep going.
Nah, since we talking about Nas though.
Jump in, sir.
J. Cole.
Man, KOD. Right?
COD.
You would.
Codfish.
What's KOD? What's it stand for?
Kids on Drugs,
Kids on Drugs.
King Overdose,
Yep.
and
Killing Our Dreams.
I don't know the last one.
I just made that up.
No, not Killing Our Dreams. You just threw
I
me
just
out.
always think of King.
I think I might have had it till you said Killing Our Dreams.
Stop, man.
I was just thinking King of Diamonds, but that's something else.
Yeah, that's that shake
Shout out to
joint.
Michael Anthony.
That shake joint.
Yeah.
With
Michael
them,
Anthony's
them
giggle.
Instagram bays with the pay-per-view joint on the back
Yeah.
in they bio and shit. But
You stupid.
Sign me up.
straight up,
Yeah, but Cole dropped.
Cole dropped.
And there's another piece of this I want to talk about as well because I made a post about it on my Facebook page.
Oh, that's neat.
And they started attacking me. So
Check out his
All right.
Facebook page.
yeah, Spoolz a hater, man. It's glad to have him back though.
On my Facebook page.
See, I ain't even say it like that. Y'all some
You kind of
cyber
did. You kind
Yo,
of
straight up. Y'all some cyber bullies.
did.
straight
Get out of
up.
here with that cyberbully shit,
Man,
This
Especially
is
since
gonna be on
we're
the
all
internet,
right
Bradley.
here.
This is gonna be on the internet,
It's
bro.
not how that works.
But I'm
Once
bullying
again.
you in person.
It's going to be on the internet.
See? Oh, that's what it sounded like.
so if I was cyberbullying, I would be rather than us talking, I would
Yeah.
be sitting there.
Everybody,
just going
check
at
Twitter
you.
right now.
Oh.
I'm a tweet Mike.
Okay, here we go.
He's gonna cyberbully him.
I hope y'all enjoying this.
Man, J. Cole though.
Yes, sir. So J. Cole, right? He dropped the album, but there's a track called, I think it's 1985, born in 1985. I got to pull the album up. Where they
Talk
say,
about the album first though.
first of all, the album, heavy subject matter.
Yeah, because it's a lot of mixed reviews out there. So let's talk about the
all right,
album a little bit.
So for the album standpoint, heavy subject matter, a lot of double time rapping. Production was solid. The records that stood out to me were 1985 intro, The Fall Off, which we'll talk about here in a minute. Window Pane is very, very cold, the outro. I like that. There's a joint on here. The ATM joint was cool.
I like the video for it.
Yeah, the video was dope.
He dropped a video for Kevin's Heart.
Kevin's
too.
Heart is dope. Overall, man, I think the fact that he is first of all, he did mad numbers for streaming. No, I don't think he had maybe 1 or 2 features on here. He did a lot. He did great
have
numbers
any
streaming
features.
wise.
The features are pretty much him.
Just him, okay, fair enough.
Yeah, J. Cole featuring J. Cole.
Oh yeah, J. Cole, yep.
I
So
just
he
made that up.
normally rocks like that though. But streaming game was high. I think the album, man, at first it didn't grab me at first. I'll be honest. I was like, okay, this is cool. Let me double back. And I ran it again and I kept listening to it. And then as I got into the album even more, I'm like, yeah, this is pretty good. Like I call it solid right now. It's a solid album. You sound like I know you said you listened to it a lot. Like what's your take
Man,
on it?
I've listened to this album multiple times. First time I listened, it was like, okay,
Yeah,
it's all right. Let me listen again. But
Yeah.
I mean, that's the way music is, though.
sure.
So people, when this first came out, it was all over Facebook. Everybody, Siskel and Ebert,
9,000 reviews.
and are reviewing the
We
album
hate
after
an hour.
We
You
hate
can't review an album off of one listen.
Preach, man.
You
We
can't
hate
do that.
20. Stop. All you 24-hour classic people, stop that, man.
Man, I swear, people
Stop.
had more lyrics on Facebook bashing the album than were actually on the actual album.
Oh man, this album trash, bro.
Al-
You just got it. What
Just
are you
got
talking
it. I mean,
about?
I don't
Oh
understand.
yeah, it was trash by like 6:30 that morning.
Man,
It
Go
was-
ahead. I'm sorry, man. I get
Earlier.
emotional when we talk about
Yeah, it's
24-hour
crazy.
classic people. I hate that. That's
But-
corny.
after listening to the album and understanding how it flows,
Yes, sir.
so the beginning of it is kind of mimicking what was going on right now. So ATM is kind of like a metaphoric song.
Okay.
He's not really meaning what he's saying on that song. That last verse kind of sums it all together. And if you've seen the video, you pick up on it as
Right.
well.
I have not peeped the video yet.
Video's dope.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's really dope.
It is
Okay.
But
really cool.
what he's doing, I'm not about to sit here and say it's classic. I'm not about to be one of them people that are dick riding and saying this is amazing and blah,
I
blah,
haven't
blah.
listened enough.
It's a good album.
Mhm.
And it kind of transitions. So it starts out a certain way, then it transitions into more of the J. Cole that people may be, you know what I'm saying, used to hearing. But I keep hearing a lot of people saying he keeps dropping the same album. And I'm not understanding how you are picking up and thinking that he's dropping the same album. Because the album doesn't sound like any of his other albums.
I really wish I had Beanie. They're just not qualified.
I just don't understand that. It's crazy.
call.
You might be able to go back and add it later.
Who is saying that?
A lot of people are
just
saying
in
that.
general.
That's people's go-to, though.
Yeah, I see
a
that
lot of
too.
times.
That his music is boring. That's always the go-to.
It's
His
boring.
music is boring.
No, I was
you
saying
may
like,
not like it, but you know what I'm saying? It is
This
what
is
it is.
nowhere
It's not the same subject matter. I mean, if somebody's telling you a life story over albums,
Yep.
of course there's going to be some similarities that you can pick up on this album that he might have kind of alluded to on the album before.
Sure.
But he's not dropping the same album over and over.
This is
again.
not Forest Hills Drive. Like, this is not that.
It's just too many opinions, man. People.
It is.
People. Yeah, everybody gets their opinion.
Sure.
Well, that's the evil side.
Sure
of
do.
social
But y'all
media.
don't deserve to have it sometimes. Yeah, I'm
I
looking
mean,
at you.
we've said it time and
see.
time again. Every time something comes out that everybody's waiting for, you got to let it breathe. You can't just immediately assume and think you know what I'm saying, just, this is trash. You didn't even really listen to it.
The concept of actually taking time with an album, this is not a music snob. This is not an elitist opinion. This is just common sense from the standpoint of actually wanting to get familiar and listen to something.
But if you're going to review that, you should recognize.
Yes.
And that
exactly. That's what I'm saying.
this
Like,
is why people aren't qualified.
people tell me,
damn it.
"Oh man, don't nobody want to hear that. You think you all that?" Because no, it's just I want to actually listen to it and see where what he's trying to convey. What is he trying to do with this?
Right.
Am I wrong for saying give me some time before I come out and say it's a classic?
No, you're
or
actually
is this-
very right to say that.
But we're battling that right now. We're battling the moment music versus Cole, who's putting out something that's substantial in the sense to where it's not a one listen
yes, sir.
project.
Yes,
yeah,
sir.
you got to kind of take it in a little bit.
And media,
Which I think is dope.
and media in general, a lot of media supports that type of thinking.
That's a fact.
Even DJ Booth has a one listen album review series,
I did not know that.
and it's a neat little series, but it annoys me just
Well,
because
I
it's,
mean,
because of
and
what
this-
it suggests.
This coming from, of course, someone who's in the clubs a little bit and sees how the
Yep.
culture moves in from that perspective, which that shouldn't be the end all be all of how we assess the culture, first
Sure.
of all. But a lot of times people listen thinking, okay, is this a single? Is this something I can play with? Because it's going to go on my mixtape.
Right.
Like they're not really listening for the content.
right.
They're listening for, is there a moment here that I can exploit
Right.
at one point? Where is, and I like the Cardi record, not heavy on content, but heavy on moments. Like I said, last week, Cardi's got about 5 or 6 records that go in the club right now.
And
And-
hearing
but-
that from you lets me
You
further
know,
know that they actually going because you're
And
out there.
I'm out there. I see it. And, the people are still playing Bodak Yellow and
Yeah.
getting a reaction. That song
Huge
is
record.
still over
Yeah.
a year old.
Huge record. Huge
so,
record.
But, one thing I said that Cardi has going for, and then I'll get back to Cole, is that if anybody understands movements and moment music, it's somebody who's come from the strip club, because that's basically what they trade on.
Mike Jones.
But
Who?
Mike
Mike
Jones.
Jones.
What's the cell phone number? Called. What do you say? 23.
8004.
There it is.
Yeah.
Hit Mike Jones up.
281.
334-8004. Hit
Okay.
Mike Jones up on the low because Mike Jones about to blow.
Yeah, say that 3 times.
300 Empire.
But I think that's where a lot of people have gotten the Cole situation messed up, because they're sitting there looking for the single. What's going to pop in the club? What's going to be on the radio? Like, people don't even listen to hip hop albums as pieces of art anymore, because they're looking to monetize it for their own gain some sort of way.
The B-side is a lost art.
I think Cole makes a lot of B-side stuff.
But I think they're
But that's
good
what he's
B-sides,
always
though.
done.
And I think that's my
Yeah.
point. I think
Yeah.
that's when people say he makes stuff that sounds the same. I think
Yeah.
that's what they're saying.
Mm.
He's just
So when you guys say B-side stuff, tell me what you mean.
When I say
exactly.
B-side, I mean, for example, if we want to throw an album out there like
what's a dope record from Cuban Links that wasn't a single?
try this, for example. Try this.
Glaciers of Ice.
Glaciers
maybe.
of Ice.
Glaciers of
Verbal
Ice
Intercourse
was a single.
Was a single.
Was it?
Heaven and Hell, maybe.
Heaven and Hell.
You know,
Yeah.
It was a
Hell was a
single.
single.
I have the.
Oh, was it?
I have the record.
All right, let's
Okay.
do.
That's a different time, though.
Let's
Yeah,
do-
that's
Because,
true.
like,
That's true.
Now
But let's do-
those
let's
would all
do-
be B-sides.
So if you want to do what, maybe Kendrick. Let's do Kendrick, right?
Kendrick. All right.
Good Kid, Mad City. A B-side would be what's my record? I'm Real. Right? That wasn't a single.
That could be considered a B-side.
But
would
that
Sing
song
About
was
Me
cold.
be a
Sing
B-side?
Sing About Me would be
Would Sing About Me be a B-side?
Think about
Sing About Me would actually qualify
But
as
it's
a
a
B-side.
So is it a
Yeah.
depth thing? Is it a second rate thing?
It's kind of like more of the
Filler?
feeling type song. No,
I
I wouldn't say filler.
Okay,
It's
not
more
filler.
of a
so
like,
it doesn't have to do with quality.
No, I would. If we go to Damn, which is his new one, Feel would be a B-side song.
Feel
Yeah.
Is a
would
B-side song
Yeah.
one that typically doesn't go in the club?
I have a
Right.
perfect
Yes.
example.
That's what in my
the
opinion.
A side, Juicy. B side, Unbelievable.
There you
Yeah.
go.
yeah. It's not
Unbelievable
It's
is
not
dope.
bad
Played
music.
Unbelievable all the
It's
time.
never bad music. It's more the kind of
Vibe or
kind of lo-fi.
I think it's where the
Sit and
artist,
chill as
not
opposed
trying
to-
to be out there.
Mhm.
This is how I feel type songs.
Volume one for Hove, right? So You Must Love Me.
hmm
A joint like that is to me is a cold B-side record.
Or like these are songs that I feel as an artist.
Yes.
I was just
The
curious
other
to know what
songs
you
are the
guys-
songs
the
for
other songs are about
everybody
commerce.
else.
But it's just
point.
less popular. It's not. It's
Yeah,
not made
gotcha.
for popular.
No, I think
popular.
like
That's
when
a very
you
good
talk
point.
about, because the A side is Sunshine, and then the B side is Where I'm From.
Hey,
like,
Where I'm
you know,
from
And Where
is
I'm From is
one of the
killing
dopest
Sunshine.
songs
Yeah.
Yes.
ever.
You know,
to
but the
me.
record company is like Sunshine.
I remember when
that's the song.
first time I heard Sunshine was actually at the Puff Daddy and the Family tour. This is
word.
Oh,
before it even came out. I think 𝐀𝐄𝐃 was DJing,
Word.
and he dropped that song, and everybody in Market Square Arena went nuts.
Yeah.
That was the first time like ever hearing that.
That's a
Nice.
dope moment.
Yeah.
Yeah. Word. That's a dope moment.
Mhm.
I want to squeeze this one in before we
Speaking
get out
of
of here real
moments.
quick. I don't know this artist that well. Artist named Russ. Anybody?
Ah, this guy.
Anybody? No.
Yeah, I know who he is.
Kind of
No, I
familiar
don't
with
really
Not
them.
familiar with Russ.
Okay. So he said with DJ Vlad, Officer Vlad, he had an interview with Officer Vlad, and Vlad they started talking about producers, and he says
Sergeant Vlad.
Sergeant Commandant Vladimir. Shout out to Commandant Lazar.
Vladimir.
With the
y'all,
police
know-
academy.
y'all know the police.
Yeah.
Jones
Police
was my
Academy?
dude.
Oh, yeah.
He says producers are to blame, and I'm coming to you first, producer. Producers are to blame for all the trash that's out right now because the producers are making the beats. The producers are the ones sending out beat tapes with 20 beats that sound the exact same at the same BPM. It's their fault that music is trash now and simplistic. Longevity to that, you say what?
Find a different producer if you don't like that.
There's a lot of them out here.
I mean,
Seems like a simple.
And Russ produces.
I'm sitting with a few
Russ
of them
is,
right
to
now.
me,
Let me
okay.
see.
Like I don't want to hate Russ because I don't know his music too much.
I don't know him well enough either.
But I don't like his music.
Okay.
One, I don't think it's horrible, but it doesn't do anything for me. There's no. I know people that like Russ a lot.
Sure.
I think he got famous because he came. Generally speaking, he came out and he started putting out songs like every week.
Right.
And he did it for so long, and then he caught on. And
Yep.
and I know some people that really like him, but he's never made anything that's made me think like, oh, well, that's pretty good. He's just makes decent music repetitively.
He talked about how in the era when there were dope producers that sculpted the sound, he said you go back and you think about
Then he's not looking in the right
you think
places.
about Timberland,
you
you
know?
think about Dre, you think about Pharrell, you think about this microphone falling off the stand, you think about
Ouch. I'm fine, though,
all these
guys.
producers. He started.
He said, "Oof."
Yeah.
No, I think it's a dumb. I don't agree with that at all because one, the producers aren't writing the songs,
Facts.
Yeah.
and at the end of the day, it could be a really dope quote unquote trap beat
Yep.
that Kendrick could write to,
Yep.
or the Migos could do,
Okay.
and it's gonna be two completely different styles of songs. Cole
got
might do
different-
something, or somebody else.
Yeah,
can.
you got different types of producers, man. You got lazy producers that are feeding people that just want to sound the same.
Yep.
I mean, so there's an avenue for that type of producer.
Huge lane.
And then you have other producers that are orchestrating shit
Facts.
and making it for other types of artists.
Yeah,
Facts.
call Madlib.
Yeah.
Bet you're
Yeah,
not gonna
or
get
some,
anything like that.
yo, shouts to Dame Funk because he literally tweeted this the other day and I retweeted it. He said, anytime as a producer you hear a whole bunch of people going towards a style that you may be doing,
Yep.
go far left.
I agree with that 100%.
And I do the
Switch
same
style
thing.
up.
I do the same thing. So, like I said, producers aren't writing these songs.
They're not.
Yeah, I mean, because if your
Accountability.
problem is with the
Ridiculous.
content, then your problem is not with the producer.
Makes no
not at all.
sense.
You know, and
That's
the thing
dumb.
is,
It's just a dumb
people,
argument.
people will bring up like someone like Timberland, who I think is dope.
Yes,
but
sir.
like there were people who weren't feeling Timberland when
Right.
he came
I had
out.
plenty of friends that weren't rocking with Timberland.
They're like, "What is this?" Like, you
Yeah.
know, and especially
Shout out
especially
to
if,
Magoo.
especially if you're from the Pete Rock and
Yeah.
Premier,
For sure.
like, and you'd hear Timberland and be like, "I don't like this."
Always,
You know, it's especially considering it got on the radio right away.
yes, sir.
You know, and he had massive hits, and the thing is,
No
he
question.
sustained that for a good amount of time. So, once again, I think the part of it was people may not have had a problem with Timberland musically, but they might not have thought Magoo or Shanta or whoever were great rappers.
Right.
Magoo was trash. I know that's his cousin. I'm sorry, but Magoo was trash.
But it's
Give it up.
you know, but don't.
We gon' show you how to party.
All right, y'all, we can't pay for that. We can't pay for that.
Oh, my fault.
All right.
We didn't sample it.
No.
Reinterpolated?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
Just poorly.
Interpolation.
Reinterpolated.
We on the same page. Let's see. All
Interpolate.
right,
But-
so check this out.
But yeah, so I'm just, you know, if your problem was with the content, then leave the producers out of the conversation.
I want to squeeze this in real quick because
And go ahead and do that, but I want you to come back to the last song on J. Cole's album. We got to fit that in.
I was
too.
about to go right there.
Okay.
So Lil Pump. I don't know who this is. I know of him because of
Is
J.
he
Cole.
Gucci Gang?
Yeah, he could be. I don't know. They all interchangeable.
Is that who he is?
Yeah. I'm assuming
Or is that
Lil,
Lil Xan?
I'm assuming
No, it's not Zan.
I'm assuming he got tattoos and colored hair and shit. I'm
We're
sorry.
showing our age.
I think that is Lil Pump. Yeah, it's
Actually,
Lil Pump. Lil Pump is Gucci
Spoolz
Gang.
introduced me to Lil Pump.
Did I?
We were about to shoot an episode.
Okay.
He was like, "Do y'all know who Lil Pump is?" And I was
Mhm.
like, "Nah." Then you showed me a video, and I'm like,
Because he got into it with Joyner
not
Lucas.
feeling this.
Oh yeah. And
So
I was
here's-
like, look
Yeah.
at the number of views on this
Gucci gang, Gucci
video.
gang,
yeah.
Gucci gang.
That's
Gucci
right
gang,
when
Gucci
he was
gang,
about to
Gucci
come
gang,
here.
Gucci
I
gang.
think in concert or something.
Yeah.
Here's the
Yeah.
thing. Lil
Pretty
Pump,
bad.
Lil Pump, get your bread. You probably like 17 or 18. I think he's 17. Get your bread.
He's
But-
actually 37. No, I'm
Oh,
just kidding.
sorry. This is the guy that said he had a Harvard degree or something.
Yeah,
From,
yeah,
I don't know.
no.
But this
Harvard degree from Harvard.
I didn't say from, did I?
He had a Harvard degree from Princeton.
Yeah.
Do they have business? I don't know. I don't know what the school's at.
She went to law school. She studied law.
I like that. Okay.
Shout out to the Lost Boys.
Blah blah blah. Blah blah blah.
I got a
That's a
Harvard
great
degree from-
bar about it. That's a great bar.
Blah 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 blah.
But no, Lil Pump, the reason I heard of him is because he had a song called Fuck J. Cole. Fuck J. Cole, right? Or he used to perform
That was
that.
a freestyle. Or
It was a
whatever,
freestyle.
or something.
Okay.
That was the
I hope.
only lyric in the entire song. If I'm not
Yes,
mistaken.
and the crowd was screaming it. I saw a video. I'm like, yo, next thing I know, dude is really eating off that. So now that J. Cole puts out the outro, he's like, man, J. Cole's picking on a 17-year-old kid. Man, that's corny. I'm like, you had the balls to diss him and come up off his name by dissing him. Now you a 17-year-old kid and he's picking on you. Stop.
What do you say in his
fam.
outro exactly?
Basically, he put. I'll let Jay Diff explain it because we talked about it earlier.
He kind of put him in context and put I think there's another kid named Smoke Perp or something,
Yeah.
They probably look the same.
and they both pretty much said fuck J. Cole at some
Yeah.
point in time.
Mm-hmm.
And he kind of the song isn't even, it's a diss song, but not really, because he's kind of trying to drop jewels on him.
I would agree.
But my whole point to what you're saying
Mhm.
on that specific song with him saying I'm 17 and you're talking about a 17-year-old.
Yep.
You're in the league now. So if you want to play in the league, then you got to be ready to play in the league.
Tell them that analogy you told me, son.
With Kobe?
Yes, sir.
All right, so when Kobe got to the league, NBA,
Mm-hmm.
he's not playing for Lower Merion anymore. He's
Not at
in
all.
the NBA. He went straight from high school to the league.
Yep.
So it doesn't matter that he was in high school.
Yes,
he
sir.
skipped college. He's playing with Jordan. He's playing with Iverson. Do you think they're giving him a break because he was straight out of high school
No.
and that he was, 17, 18 years old?
No.
No, he's in the league. So you got to be ready to get dunked on,
Mm-hmm.
somebody to sit on your head,
Mm-hmm.
somebody to cross you over, break your ankles. It doesn't matter if you're playing in the league.
Especially if you're gonna try to go up and dunk on somebody else.
Right. And I mean, you had a song just called Fuck J. Cole.
I'm saying
And I'm not
Bars.
supposed to say anything.
That's bars.
Yeah.
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 That's that when he broke it down like that. I'm like,
Yeah.
that's it.
Yeah, I mean you in here, so
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
I
It's
don't,
crazy.
feel, I don't feel bad for Lil Pump at all.
Not at all.
Nah. If
He
you
told them they're going to be in Love and Hip Hop in 5 years
yeah,
if they don't stop making moment
it was
music.
really
he's not even old enough to be on Love and Hip Hop.
Nah, not yet, but
yeah. He pretty much just broke down his future. in the next 3 or 4 years.
He even said I was on the same thing when I was 18.
Exactly. So dude was in his feelings, and I guess he's playing the 17-year-old card now. But yeah, nah, fam, we ain't gonna honor that.
Nah.
You was a grown man then. You better be a grown man now.
Don't try to stick out your chest, and then all of a sudden you wanna.
Right.
Yes, sir.
That's not cool.
Is there anything popping with you gentlemen before we wrap up here?
Well, the J Moore birthday tour.
I forgot about that.
You know what I'm saying? Tonight at Tiki Bob's. Tomorrow, which will be Friday at Epic Ultra Lounge for the Versus Party, Old Soul Entertainment. And, of course, we're going to be having the Outkast Icon Party at the Hi-Fi on Saturday night. So
he's accepting all drinks.
Buy my man a drink if you see him.
No Mickey's.
Hip-hop night is Thursday night as well.
It is.
Yes.
Me and Sunny Paradise
Square Cat Vinyl
will be hosting that.
At
Square Cat Vinyl. Yeah.
Spoolz, we got anything popping?
Chilling. back to Philly next week.
Yes,
All
sir.
right.
Shout out to Spoolz Free and Meek Mill. I got an EP dropping Friday as well. It is my Marvin Gaye mashup. It's called Songs in the Key of Marvin. About 9 joints. We got some jams, so it'll be out Friday.
Shamon.
Episode 78 is a wrap. Make sure you guys go to our Patreon site. What is the website, Long?
I don't know. What is it, Mike?
It's
Pass that buck.
Patreon.com/newoldheads.
Thank you. Shout out to Coleman Dental.
Let's get it. I was just there.
It's all good. Get
Yep.
your teeth right. 317-255-8546. Take care of your teeth. No bad ideas in the building as well.
For Oddities Line, of course, Printfinity.
Yes, sir. And we'll see
Word.
y'all next week. Peace.
At your boy, scream at your dog.
I like it. Yeah.